So I made a pilgrimage to Seattle to visit master breeder Dean and see how he breeds and raises fish. He's doing all kinds of neat stuff. He's the only person I know who has successfully bred and raised blue phantom plecos. He's doing all kinds of dwarf cichlids, apistos, and some others. He breeds some guppies that are amazing. He's working on pseudomugils, also called blue eyes or blue-eyed rainbows, a strain of red koi angelfish that is the reddest I've ever seen. They're absolutely stunning. And he tells us some of his secrets. We'll learn some of the things he actually does to be so successful at breeding and raising aquarium fish. And one of the big things is hatching brine shrimp, and so at the end of this video he goes through his process on that. A lot of good information here. This is a long one, so get a beverage, get a snack, and let's sit back and soak up the knowledge from master breeder Dean. I saw some breeding projects I'm really excited about.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first one I'm really excited
Notice there's
about.
no label.
Yeah, well, I know what it is.
Yeah.
The Pseudomugil mellis, the honey blue eye. And just getting them going, right?
Yep. Yep. I've actually collected 4 eggs.
4 eggs.
I have 1 female. How many eggs am I going to get?
Yeah, not many. Especially not. You know, they're continuous spawners, so
right.
they lay just a couple eggs a day.
Right.
So.
This is going to be a long-term project. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a while to get started. But you know, to give you an example, I started with 2 pairs of arbutus about 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And I've got these, and the couple hundred I've already taken to the stores.
Yeah, yeah.
And
oh wow, I got it. This guy is flaring. They're excited about the mop. It's morning for them. The lights just went on a little while ago. There they go.
Yep.
That's what makes that fish.
They'll be spawning. They'll probably spawn right on camera for you.
This I gotta take a minute. This is too good. Like these males.
Oh, did you
flaring.
see that one flare?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's this is why pseudomugils are so amazing, and this you often won't see when you go to your pet store to get them.
Never.
But once they settle in and are comfortable, turn on the light and then go watch them 10 minutes later.
So
and this is what's happening.
So do you remember when you were here on Friday, I said I'm going to put mops in this tank?
Uh-huh.
So I put these mops in yesterday.
Should we see? Well, let's let them go for
We'll let them go for a little while.
And pull them out and see what's in there. Yeah, that is. They remind me of like birds of paradise or hummingbirds.
Exactly.
Or little displays.
Hummingbirds is a better example, I think.
They flicker everything.
So this is one of the things that I've been challenging myself with is, so I started with 4, and within 6 months I'm selling them, a lot of them. With the Luminatus, when Nick Harlan were here from, Nick and Harlan were here from.
Keeping Fish Simple, I'm sure you know that channel if you're watching this, but if you don't, it's worth a look-see. Keeping Fish Simple does a great job.
So they bought me 2 pairs. Surprised me, and that was, I don't even know, that was a short while ago.
Yeah, 3-4 months.
Yeah, maybe? And I've got those and these, and I just sold all of them out of that tank.
So a couple hundred already?
Couple hundred, and all you're doing is so my challenge has been just getting a few and seeing what I can produce. It's a personal challenge. It's not no one else.
Oh, instead of I've got 20 pairs.
Right.
How many can I produce? I've got a couple. What can I do with this?
With these red or albino red ear kois. Now there's extra male in there now, but originally I bought 1 pair, and my thought was, how many can I produce in 60 days?
We've got all these,
and I've sold half of those already.
Oh yeah. So from 1 pair,
you know,
two
tanks.
There's oh yeah, because there's these as well.
Yes.
300 fish. I don't know.
300-400 fish. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, counting fish is hard, but I've got a sense when I look at a tank of how many are there.
So that's just been one of my own personal challenges lately, is to challenge myself.
So if you have, so that's a 10-gallon, that's a 10-gallon, that's a 15-gallon.
These are 20s.
20s. So if you have 3 tanks, you can produce 300-400 fish within a few months. I sell that for $30 a pair retail.
Right.
So I would pay 25% of that shipped to me.
Right.
Per pair.
Right.
So if you do the math, That ain't bad. I'm not doing the math. But
It's not horrible.
If you
It's not
do the
horrible.
math, if you're watching, like out of 3 small aquariums.
I've got snails, but I've also
Oh no!
I've
Look
also-
we just had to talk about snails.
I've also got babies.
Dun.
Yeah.
Which species? Oh, these are the wobbin roosters?
Yes.
Oh, and you've got babies?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
look
it's
at
not
them.
the not the first time.
Well, that's the first time I've seen a baby wobbin rooster.
I've got them in 3 or 4 different tanks.
And are
But
they
I
as
but I
easy
didn't
to breed?
realize I had eggs, so I haven't been paying attention.
They're an ancestral type. Do you find them as easy as a bushy nose, or are they a little more challenging?
But a little bit fewer eggs.
Oh, so not as big.
So bushy
Of a
nose,
spawn.
could get 120 eggs.
Mm-hmm.
With these, you might get 50 or 60.
Half as prolific.
Yeah. But the cool thing about these is they keep that pattern from baby to adult. And I believe right down here there's some little ones.
Oh yeah, he's got the
So he's already got the honeycomb pattern.
So that's awesome that they keep that, because there are a lot of fish that look very different
Yeah.
as juveniles. Like some of the Starlight, the 180.
yeah, they look horrible.
Plecos,
Yeah.
they're nice white bands on the fins when they're babies, and then they grow up and
Right.
they lose that, and that's
Right.
part of the charm. So yeah, that's neat. And you've got the grow out here from those koi angels we saw.
Some of them.
This is one way to pay for a fish room. Those koi guppies is another way, I think.
Yes. Basically, any fish your local stores will take consistently.
That's the key. The
And-
market has to be able to absorb them long term.
Yeah, and the better way to do it is ask your store first. If I breed these, will you take them? And how many could you take a month? And et cetera, et cetera. And then you might have to give them a couple batches.
Right. So
Try these, see if they work in your store.
I can speak to that. Is a guy that takes massive risk every time he brings a new supplier on.
Right.
I can understand why a store might be hesitant to buy fish from you, because they don't know you.
Right.
And they've been burned before, trust me.
A lot.
So I think a strategy would be, here's a dozen, give them a try. If they do well, I can make
I
a
can
lot
give you
more.
50 or 100 or whatever. Yeah.
Is that...
Yeah. And then what I try to do is, I mean, there are fish where you can't take 50 at a time. I try never to, if I'm taking fish to a store, smallest bag is 50. But for example, these 397 plecos, I might have to get my hand in the tank to show you these.
Yeah. The Allen Kears is what they call
Yeah,
these.
or candy stripe, whatever.
Candy stripe, yeah. Black and kind of orange stripes, yeah.
So there's probably eggs in one of these caves.
So the store might be able to do 5 to 10 of these.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is you take them.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at that! I gotta get that. Can you lift that up? Holy cow!
That's one of the adults.
That's
It's female.
a big mama.
That's
I like
about,
my fish fat and sassy. You're making me happy right now.
that's as big as they get. There's another one here.
Yeah, 4 inches tops, and yeah, really manageable.
But the key is you got to get them swimming about.
On the bottom. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
So
you
look
call
at
them
there
candy
are
stripes?
some tinies.
Oh yeah, babies.
Yeah. So there's some little ones in here too.
That's why the L numbers are nice, because there's probably 5 different common names for that fish.
Yes.
So.
I just sell them by the L number.
So on that one, yeah, they're not going to be able to take as many of the high dollar fish. Got
Let's
eggs.
see. That guy looks like he's sitting on eggs, but I can't tell.
Well, I got what everyone wanted. A close-up of the back of Dean's head.
Let's see if there's eggs in there or not. No, there are not eggs in there. So those are the small ones probably just got kicked out.
How prolific is this one? What's a clutch?
22 I think is a good size.
So that'd be that big mama?
Yep.
would be 22.
The eggs are huge though. They're like they're almost the size of a salmon egg.
Oh, geez.
Not quite, but almost. And I've been. Well, I took the 201s, my breeding group, to the meeting yesterday.
Snowballs.
Yeah. I've been paring it down because I used to have too many plecos. And you find all of a sudden, I've got cories, I've got plecos, and nothing swimming about. So
A bunch of fish I just never seen.
yeah. So the other plecos, I have a pair of the red albino ancestress, you know, the super, what they call the super red ones.
And at one time you were doing leopard frogs, if I remember.
Yep, I've sold all those off.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a choice between these and leopard frogs.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is your decision, I would suppose sometimes it's like, I've had these a long time, it's time to try something else.
Yes, that's it.
And then sometimes though, since you're doing this, you know, to pay for the fish room and stuff, sometimes do you find the market just dries up for something?
Yes, absolutely. Like I'll give you an example. I had a couple spawns of these. These are
Electric blue
acaras. I originally bought 6 at this size. Within, and they will spawn at 2 inches.
Yeah,
people won't believe me, but they do. They will spawn young, and then all of a sudden I had 1,000 of them. And so, you know, you're moving them to shops 50 at a time. One spawn, I've sold the adults. You don't see the adults around here. I've sold them off already because that one spawn will keep me for a year.
So you saturated the local market.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, I mean, I can't say enough good things about this fish. It's tops out at maybe 5-6 inches if you count the long tail fin.
Yes.
Absolutely stunning blue as adults. They're nice as babies, but the blue gets better and better as they age.
And they'll get a little bit of that kind of reddish head.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say no. Just
a
little
nuchal hump a little bit.
Not massive like a flower horn, but you can tell when they're really mature.
They don't beat each other up like other cichlids. They will chase each other, but they don't really beat each other up.
And when they spawn, unlike other cichlids, they defend the spawning area, but they don't necessarily take over the entire aquarium.
Nope, only that area. Even when they're raising fry in that area, they'll just take like a 6-8 inch area and keep their babies to it.
So if you're looking for an awesome medium-sized cichlid that's peaceful, you can keep with community fish, and is easy to breed and hardy, I think this is a great one.
Yeah, and these used to be in with the angels and the lemon tetras, the big ones, the adults did.
Oh yeah, no problem with the lemon tetras.
Nope, or the angels.
Oh right, with the fins, they didn't even nip them.
Not a bit.
And you have some veils in there.
Yep. So the only thing I found, if there is a negative, is when they're young, they're a little bit skittish, even when you net them.
Yeah, they'll jump.
They're a jumper. Keep the tank covered.
Yeah, I learned that. I was very surprised when I went to catch the first batch.
Jump right out of the bag almost, right?
Well, I was netting them out of the tank, and a few of them were like, boom, and I was like, wait, this is a cichlid. I did not expect that.
Same exact thing, same exact experience. Because, but like you said, they're a great medium-sized cichlid. Peaceful, I would say.
This is one that I think is going to go in waves. Markets will get saturated.
Yeah.
Then no one will keep it for a while, and suddenly everyone will be like, where'd that fish go? And suddenly there'll be another demand in it. So in 5 years,
This is also an example of where this color morph is not a native fish.
Right.
And
it's from the blue acara.
Yeah. And so this is where they've created a nice color morph out of that fish, I think, anyway.
Oh, I like it. I still like the natural form too, but the nice thing is you can still get both.
Yes.
It's not like the golden wonder killie where you can't find wild type Aplecylus lineatus anymore.
Right.
Because all they breed now is the golden wonder.
Yeah. That drives me crazy. I got snails in the tank.
Yeah. We just talked about
I'm ready to go in there and squish them, but we're on camera, so I'm not going to.
Dean's revenge.
So another staple is the Preox rainbows. Did you take footage of that mop we pulled the other day?
I can't remember.
I can't either, but it's in here now. And
it was full of eggs.
It was completely full. And I just wanted to check this one really quick because it's only been in here
this has been here since Friday morning.
Yeah. So let's see if we've
there's so many eggs.
This is from
2 days, day and a half.
No, I put this mop in last night.
Oh, it was last night. So this is this morning's spawn.
Yeah. All of those are little eggs.
Look at that.
So
look at that. That's like
yeah.
Man, that's almost enough to make some caviar.
That's probably going to be at least 200.
There's more than that.
Because
there's more than that.
Probably.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. We'll give it back to them for this time.
And this is one that I think you've kept and bred since I first ever saw footage of your fish room on YouTube. And I'm assuming because it's a small rainbow fish that people can keep in a decent sized tank.
Right.
It's beautiful, it's hardy, and so the demand is just never dried up.
The demand's always there. It's very much similar to the angelfish, but it will sell for more money. And at this size, well,
so we're at
the color's already there.
Oh yeah, these are an inch and they're already pretty. Yeah, and are they already breeding?
And there's
I saw
a few
couple
eggs, yeah. But this mop's only been in overnight too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of eggs in there. So
not bad for little babies.
The one we'll have to check is that one later. Let's let it go for a while.
So when you go to a pet store to sell them, do you have a price in mind, or do you ask them, what would you give me? How do you...
I have my price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. Because
and usually I will... I mean, I've been around long enough to know that, it's double, 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 or triple, 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 whatever it works out. So I know how the industry has to mark up. Everybody in the line has to make money.
Yeah.
I sell very, very few fish individually to individuals because it gets to be such a pain. All of a sudden you sell it to him, and he says, well, he bought some, can I buy some? He bought some, can I? And then...
You'd rather back up an entire tank and be done, right?
Because a local sale to another person can take longer than taking a bunch of fish to the store. And my closest store is 40 minutes away.
And you already have a relationship. They
have
know
a relationship.
Take them. It doesn't take 50 emails or texts back and forth to close the deal. Yeah.
Nope. And so it's just easier. I mean, that's not saying that if a local person has something that I want, that's the best way to get my fish.
Trade?
Yeah. You have something I want, then what fish do you want? As long as it's something I've bred. I mean, like these ones, for example, I haven't bred them yet. I have eggs.
Can't give away your 3.
No, but if you have something that I want, we will make a deal. And that happens. That happens, occasionally. I've had people from out of state. What can I get you? I said, no, you tell me what you're breeding. I don't want what you can get me, because I can get it too. What are you breeding? That I want. And it doesn't always work out, but sometimes it does. Those are going to be fun, Dan.
The Equus. Yeah, and the blue's already coming in too.
It is. I saw it.
Look at this guy.
And check this out though.
He's already got some pretty good blue coming in.
Look at the sheen. It's there.
And he's going to get twice that size. That's half grown right there.
Yeah. So looking at sheen like that with a flashlight from the side, that's how we used to sell and buy turquoise discus when they were young. You can see the color that's going to come in when they're a nickel size.
So you can tell small what it'll turn into as an adult.
Yeah, we could tell. Yeah, so.
Oh yeah, look at that. Is that a phantom?
That's a blue phantom.
You've bred blue phantoms, right?
I have 2 babies.
We'll call it a success, because I've never heard of.
I've had 2 spawns and I have 2 babies. I haven't either. I looked up how to do it and all that, and
have other people done it?
I didn't find anything online about breeding them.
The blue and the green phantoms, I just don't think, along with the gold nugget plecos, I think are just super difficult.
And those guys may come out for food. Let's just try.
So I see them about that big. I saw them from that big to that big. I hardly ever see a nice big adult, so this will be a treat for me. Oh yeah, here we are. Oh, look at that beauty. I have one collector I found that actually
collected these.
Well, lots of people sell them to you, but he bags them right. They always come healthy. We don't have losses. We deworm them and stuff.
Yeah,
they arrive,
yeah.
And, fat and happy, and not ammonia burned and all that. And so I only buy them a couple times a year when they have them. Everyone else that I've tried, it's just, they don't do it right.
I have had these for a little over 7 years now.
Oh, geez.
And I bought them at that inch and a half size, yeah.
Yeah, plecos aren't something to take on lightly if you want to breed the fancy plecos. It takes
No,
years.
take your time.
Yeah.
Get some guppies in the meantime. Get something else to occupy your time, but don't mistreat them.
Oh, yeah.
Do your maintenance, do your feeding, all that. I mean, they've been in this tank for 7 years, so.
Yeah.
And the size of caves has changed over time.
So
I don't know if we'll see them, but the two babies are in here, and they're kind of food motivated too.
all right, let's see if we can see
So
the first captive bred aquarium raised blue phantoms I've ever seen in my life. Maybe.
Now the weird thing in this tank
I
is,
think I see one on the other side of the wood.
yeah, there's some Wabbinmaster in there too.
Oh, that might be what.
But you'll see the blue phantoms will have the tail. It's another Wabbinmaster. Hope I'm saying that right.
I don't know. It's German.
Yeah, exactly.
Wabenmuster. We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, I see the one. Here, let's do this.
Oh, here he is.
You see him?
That's not a snowball, is it? Oh, that might be
right there.
There he is. You bred and raised that.
Yeah.
He's already over 2 inches. Oh, look at that beauty.
Is that beauty?
Holy cow. Well,
Look at the color back
that
there.
might be the only time in my life I ever see an aquarium bred and raised blue phantom pleco. Holy cow. Yeah, you didn't just breed them, you bred them and raised them to 2.5
Yeah,
inches.
there's a second one in there somewhere. I just don't know where.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But that's cool, huh?
Dude, congrats. That's like a feat.
Yeah.
I mean, it only took 7 years.
So what?
Easy.
I was doing, here's the thing that people don't understand about that. In that same tank over the 7 years, I probably raised several thousand Preox rainbows above it.
Right. So the tank wasn't sitting fallow.
No. I've raised angelfish above them, rams, Preox rainbows, and sturbe cories in with them. So, it's not like you're really wasting that tank.
Yeah, it can be a productive tank.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm seeing these guys starting to spawn.
Yeah, and unfortunately what you're seeing is that remember asking about micro bubbles?
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a big problem with micro bubbles in my warehouse. I had to do a whole big alteration to fix it.
Yeah.
Because mine were,
Even
I do so much water change that it could kill the fish if I hadn't fixed it.
Yeah.
But that is probably the biggest, prettiest male Pseudomugil furcata or forktail blue eye that I have ever seen. That guy is,
He's
if
nice.
he's not he's 2 inches tip to tip.
Yep, easily.
Bright yellow and orange, and I love how the black kind of sets it.
Oh, perfect
that's what I
timing.
love. But this is a fish that I've really, really struggled to bring in healthy.
Yeah, they get a lot of velvet
They,
and ick.
in for some reason, that's part of it, and part of it is just by the time they get to me, I think they're in such bad shape that a lot of them don't make it. So I finally found one supplier that I would say 70% of the time they come in okay.
Yeah.
But that's about as good as the industry does.
Yeah.
So anyone in the Seattle area, if you're able to buy from a pet store, Dean Supplies, and get these babies, man,
Yeah.
you're
They're
lucky.
cool. I'm trying to get a couple more males to grow. I put 2 other small males in, but they didn't last.
Yeah, he said no.
Yeah.
That usually doesn't happen, but I could see with like a massive mature male with his harem
Yeah.
putting in 2 younger ones that he would
didn't
go
like it.
aggro.
He didn't like it at all.
Yeah, he would go.
And that's my Easter Island thing that I've had since the 70s. Did you and Mark go to the fish store?
It's called The Fish Store.
Uh-huh. So that originally came from them 2 locations ago.
So that store's been there forever, or it moved, but it's been around forever.
Yeah, it's been around forever. Yeah. I wanted to check their mop because I wanted to show you how big their eggs are.
This was the first pseudomugil I bred, and I was so surprised when I saw how big the eggs were.
So I was actually surprised too.
Because the ones I was spawning were half grown, and they were still, you know, the size of killifish eggs.
Yeah.
How long does it take for them to get that size?
That's, I'm going to say, about a year old.
Oh, there you go. There's eggs.
Yeah, right down here.
There's some there. I've got killifish egg eye.
Yeah. They're all over in there.
That's huge. That's as big as a blue Galaris egg.
Right. They're
blue Galaris
big eggs.
4 to 5 inch body size.
So
Yeah.
looks like I'm going to have to do some more mop pulling next week.
So Dean and I have a different experience raising babies of that fish. In my experience, I was able to feed them baby brine right away, and they did fine. You like to start them though on smaller foods, right?
Yeah.
Better survival
you're
rate?
talking about the rainbows, right?
I'm talking about the frittata.
Yeah, I usually will go, I always have paramecium cultures. Now, I'm not talking about Infusoria.
Actual paramecium.
I'm talking about it's one type of paramecium.
Like from Carolina Zoological Supply or
Yep.
something.
And forgive me, I can't remember which one it is, because I actually got it well, the guy that I got it from them, but he never gave me the name, and he's not in the hobby anymore. So,
That makes sense. Smaller food's always better, probably.
and I also use what I call fry dust.
The paintbrush.
Yep, the paintbrush, Ceramicron. You know, I noticed some baby rainbows in here. These just hatched since we've been here on Friday, so it's just literally just
Boom.
like that.
Yeah.
The Corys will eat a lot. And then there's some over here in this container.
Yeah. So it's so much easier than trying to like pinch the right amount
Yeah.
with your finger. You'll never get
Right.
it.
I did pull that mop. This is the mop we saw the other day.
Oh, there's 1,000 eggs.
Yeah,
in there.
there's
I don't know how many
billions,
there are.
billions of them.
I was exaggerating a little bit, but there actually might be 1,000 eggs in there.
There could be.
It
It was just completely loaded, insanely loaded.
Is it time to check these, or should we?
We
They're
can.
still going though.
Well, they will still go if I take it out and put it back.
So, for those that don't know, Pseudomugil gertrudae comes from many different locations. The Aru 2 and the Aru 4 are, in my opinion, the most colorful because they get these orange-yellow tips on the fins. And the normal aquarium strain ones don't. They're just, they're a nice spotted pattern, but they don't have that color.
I don't see any.
I cannot believe that.
They've probably been
They were
eating
just
them.
flirting? Oh yeah. Lay and eat.
Yeah.
When you do get these, do you get them in large numbers?
Eggs?
Eggs, yeah.
Oh yeah, from if
the-
we check that mop, there'd probably be eggs in it. No, actually, I just picked that mop. No, there should be eggs in it.
Because one trick I found with killifish that eat their eggs is if I make the mop like really thick, like wrap it around 100 times,
Yep.
a lot of the eggs bury deep enough that even the egg eaters don't get most of them. I like the can't fall down safety little ball on the end of the string there.
Yeah, that's just a cork. That's so I can. That's actually the string will hold it in the tank where I want it, or the fish line, whatever you call that, so that it doesn't float around. I think these ones,
There's at least one.
yeah, they're down. Okay, so they're at the other.
They're going
end.
low. They're probably in the bottom mop. Oh, there's another one.
They're probably in the bottom mop,
Yeah.
exactly, because
Yeah.
there's two bottom mops in there.
Yeah.
And so this is something I've been experimenting with because I've asked the, let's just call it the Australian guys, when they were here, do they like floating or bottom mops?
And it probably depends on where the flow's at.
And also where the bottom mop is. So some, according to them, some rainbows lay in the bottom better than in the top. So yeah. So I won't pull it out today though.
Yeah, you want to wait till there's a lot of
Yeah,
eggs in there. Make it worth raising a batch.
On the Preox, typically when I have them in a tank by themselves, I used to just leave the mop in until I saw hatchlings on the surface. So that would be about 10 days. Then I would pull the mop and hatch it for 10 days. And in the meantime, put another mop in and just go through that cycle. And that way I would get basically 10 days worth of eggs other than the ones that they actually ate.
So you can raise them at that many in one tank versus spread that over three tanks.
Yeah, because it gets to be a size difference where they start predating each other. Yeah. So the best thing I had going at one time was I had a 75 out in the office with the candy cane, the 397s in the bottom, spawning. Sturbays spawning on the glass, and Preox rainbow spawning in the mop. And I was able to pull so many fry out of there of the different fish. And then it all happened in one morning. The Sturbays found the eggs in the mop.
Oh, and they never went back.
It was done.
Yep.
Yeah.
They found out there was caviar, and then their mops.
Yeah. It was their mops. Yep. Exactly.
There's gold in them their hills, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to look at these because it's usually when I buy the black rams, they look like a normal ram with a little bit of black on them.
Right.
I found one place where I can get them and they actually look black. These are black with nice color on the fins.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think these are going to last.
Oh, is it a demand thing?
No, I mean,
thing?
I don't think they're going to last here because I think they have some tumors are coming in.
Oh, okay. It's a health thing.
Health thing, yeah. And I just had put a female with, this is what I would consider one of my better males, and he literally killed her overnight.
Yeah. It's too bad because he's a looker.
They're super aggressive compared to other rams.
Oh, really?
Other rams will chase the female around. He literally killed her. So, which is too bad.
That's so.
I have a theory
that's
though.
So interesting. Yeah, what's
I
the
have a theory why. I think it's because. Actually, let's go back over here. Because what they go for is the eye. Because everything else is black, they don't see it.
I do see.
Yeah,
that eye
so that eye's been hit by one of the other rams.
So the eye stands out so much that they target.
They target it, and then once the eye's gone, the fish is gone. But
you know how they also have that black spot mid-body?
Yes.
On a normal ram?
Yes.
I wonder if they're drawn to attacking that too.
Yeah, because these are normal rams.
Right. They have that black mark.
The black mark in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with the color of these, by the way, but they like me. They still like me.
What color do you usually get? More yellows and.
I just like I like the color to be more intense. And it could be the way the light's hitting it.
Well, we did just turn the lights on super bright, but
yes.
But you've seen them
at
the regular light too. So.
Yeah. That's not a good specimen, but the color is better back there.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. We're just backlighting them because the ones in the further back look better. There's a few trifasciatas in there, female down there.
I think that's a hugely underrated cichlid. I like them a lot. The blue with the yellow tips that the males get. I think trifasciata is beautiful, but I bring it in because I like it. And no one buys it.
Yeah, these have been ripped up by the rams, but that happens.
And then this is the actual production tank for breeding these guys?
Yes, yeah. These are your current male, breeders. Female, yeah.
And is this one that it does so well commercially that it's worth keeping forever? Is this one that eventually you're like, well, I've had it for years and years, it's time to try?
I'm getting close to being done.
Just because you've had them for so long?
I just done the same thing over and over and over and over again. And for a while, I also had Philippine blues growing in here, which are really nice. At some point, you have to keep yourself interested.
Right.
You know, and this last year, since I've pretty much been out of it for about 5 months, it's like, okay, what do I really want to do? And what I really want to do is some of these smaller nanofish.
You could not breed too many of these right now. The hobby is starving for them, and there's no source.
Right.
No reliables.
You know, sometimes you just have to change things up a bit.
Absolutely.
I might end up letting all the stir-bay groups go. I have several adult groups, and keep some babies, and then, you know, 6-8 months from now, I would have another group to spawn. That's one thing that a lot of people don't understand is if you breed them, you can keep them for. I'll give you another example. In here, on the bottom, you'll see a bunch of little pygmy cories.
Oh yeah.
So I bred all those. So they're just growing out below some other grow outs.
Some luminatus.
And you know, probably next spring I'll be breeding those.
So you can take a temporary break just by selling off the breeders and waiting for the next batch to mature. You don't you don't lose the species or the line.
Nope.
You just can do something else for a while. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would like to upscale my production on the Wabenmesters because I think it's a viable.
It's a pretty
fish.
Ancestress. Yeah.
And the other thing is you look at what fish can I breed. My goal is to get $5 a fish minimum. So like those, when I was first selling the 397s, I was selling them for 80 a fish. But now the price has dropped, especially in the last 2 years.
Retails 40 to 60 per fish, depending.
Yeah, so that price has dropped. I can get $5 for those. Talking about the retail right? The angels go for about $350.
That's wholesale, right?
That's wholesale.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense. Because that's easily a $15, $20+ fish.
Yeah, so that's a lower price fish than these guys, and these are actually easier.
But you sell more angels.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of figure out which is which. The rainbows take a while to grow, but I found that most of the stores buying rainbows, they're buying them smaller than these.
Oh yeah, they come in. They'll come in 3/4
of an inch, right? Total length, right? And so maybe I'm growing them out too long.
Well, they'll like yours because they'll be old enough to have a little color.
And they're flashing already. They're bigger. Yeah. So.
Now, how long does it take to get them an inch? Because Preox, I think, grow faster than
Preox.
Some of the other
I can
ones.
Sell in about 3 months.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good for.
And, I mean, most people it takes 5.
Yeah.
But most people are not hatching baby brine shrimp every day, which is a mistake if you're out there and breeding fish.
Yeah.
We talked about that at breakfast.
Okay. You know? So, Dean and I agree on something. We agree on a lot of things, but this we are like galvanized on, which is baby brine shrimp's a game changer. Not just for breeding fish, but for keeping fish. Like if
acclimating them, bringing them in,
getting them fat. Anything 2 inches and under is probably going to love baby brine shrimp.
Exactly.
And it's got so much of the healthy fat that is difficult to find and not have it go rancid in prepared foods.
Right. And we also talked about how it's somewhat of a laxative. It's like eating
fibrous.
Salad.
It's
eating
a
salad. You said
exoskeleton.
That. Yeah. So it helps get that fish's gut going all the time.
It's awesome.
So I would say in here, 80% of the tanks get some baby brine shrimp every day. It might not be their primary food, but they're going to get some. I also have a theory. Let's talk apistos. Apistos. Always throw a little bit of your extra baby brine shrimp in with the adults.
Because then they know there's food for the babies? Is that
exactly. Exactly.
The reason I've heard you say that before, so I was like, I think I know what he's going to say.
And I'm telling you, it works. It
well,
works.
if nothing else, it helps them gain the weight.
And they will eat it anyway. You know, so and maybe it gives them that, I'm eating live food, that whatever you call it.
Well, that female needs those fats to make the eggs. Like eggs are intensely energy consumptive to create. Yeah. So, yeah.
These are the brine shrimp seeds I was talking about.
And You source those?
I sourced them on Amazon. They're from a company called Mercer of Montana. Now, I put my own handle on because I got tired of.
And are they made for soil sifting?
No, they're made for plankton and rotifers and stuff like that. They make all different size screens. And if you look at it, you know, it looks like it's PVC pipe. They've this must be a coupling they've cut it down, obviously. This might be a full coupling. This is 2-inch, 4-inch, and they make a 3-inch also.
Now the important thing is going to be, what micron screen should people get? If
this is 120.
120 microns?
Yeah.
And that's enough to let the water through, but not the baby brine shrimp?
Yep, and I can do 2 tablespoons of brine shrimp at a time, of brine shrimp eggs, and it will catch it. If you let them go too long to where there's some dead, it will start plugging up really quick.
Oh, right. It kind of mashes into the seed.
Yeah. And then you have to, but I back flush it every day anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at the separation. So this one's bubbling.
Dude, that's beautiful.
Look at the top.
That is beautiful.
Now look down here. You see a pile of shell?
Single shell.
I mean, you can see some that are stuck.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
They'll stay stuck.
So that's awesome. I use, I guess, a lower grade shell sometimes, and I get them mixed on the very bottom.
Yeah.
So I'll have shell, clear, orange, shell.
Right. And if I let these settle for even longer, this would clear, but I'm not going to.
Right. So that's the Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp eggs.
That is the Aquarium Co-op.
Everyone that has talked to me about them has said the separation is immaculate.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm seeing that that's true. That is very clear separation.
So I looked at the cost difference. I also did, and you know, I mean, we might as well mention the brand. I was a brine shrimp direct shopper for ages, years. I still say they have really, really good eggs. When I was testing these, I did weight differences. I put in the same amount of eggs, 2 containers, same amount of time, and then I drained the brine shrimp,
and waited,
rinsed it, and then weighed it. And I got more weight per teaspoon of eggs.
So higher hatch rate.
Yeah. And less shell, no shell.
Right, which I could imagine eggshells would drive you nuts because you like your tank super
we'll do
clean,
this.
right?
We'll do this.
So you know what, that is true. I didn't think of this before. Every other breeder I've been to that feeds lots of baby brine shrimp, there's all kinds of brine shrimp eggshell floating around.
Yeah.
I don't see any in here.
Because I mean, you know, if you look in here close, you're going to see some shell.
Yeah, but usually
there's a line of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't see that. Yeah, it's like
it's just orange. All right, bottoms up.
It's liquid. It's liquid gold.
Liquid gold.
That's what I call it.
And follow you to sieve. Is that okay?
Yeah, I do that here. And because I'm going to make 2 feedings out of this, I go like this. This is the part that'll drive people crazy.
Well, that sieves quick. I used like baby brine shrimp nets, and it took forever.
Yeah, they plug up instantly.
They clog.
Yeah. So rinse it just with cold tap water. I think these are called I forget what it's called. It's a medical term.
Yeah, they use them in labs and stuff.
But I just use that to
squirt it out.
Yep.
Oh, so you rinse it down to one side, and then you can just squeeze it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that. There's like almost none left.
No.
In the brine shrimp net, I always get it stuck down in the crease on the bottom.
That's why I stopped using them.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to fill this with water up to my whatever 2-cup mark. And this is the part that'll
back flush it before it dries on and
yes,
gets nasty.
You have to.
Yeah, you get a protein film across otherwise, yeah.
And then I'm going to go grab the brine shrimp hatcher. I'll be right back. Okay. So I kept the water right? From the shrimp. Now tonight I will do this treatment. I'm just going to show you. So tonight I will do really quick.
Yeah, you want to get the protein film off, right?
And I also like to clean out that hose because it will plug. Then we go like this. Water. That's salt water. And I don't measure this. I count to 6. Cold water. That was probably like 3 for other people. For me, that was 6. So that's somewhat of a water change, right? Stir these up a bit. Put half of it in there. That'll be tonight's feeding.
Oh, and you save that for later. Hook it back up to the air and everything, and keep it alive.
Yep. No refrigeration, just plug it back in over there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally. So you're feeding half the shrimp now.
And half
you're keeping
tonight.
the other half alive until tonight.
Yep.
And yeah.
And I usually just feed with a baster.
You know what I have found? The best thing. Found a baster that has a little end that has a no drip. Yes. Oh, you've got. Okay, cool.
You want it?
I've got them. Yeah, I've got probably 5
I don't like it.
You don't?
No, because I'm so used to.
I like that it doesn't drip.
But before you got here, all my tanks had.
Oh yeah.
That's where I get the brine shrimp. It dries on the front.
I like it. Also, I'll miss the squeak. It makes that squeak.
Yeah.
Squeak.
And you miss it.
That's how I know
I've been there, done that. Yeah. So we'll put this back, put the air back on.
All right, so if your wife does not want you keeping brine shrimp in the kitchen fridge, or I imagine this might keep them alive better or something.
So I use rigid airline tubing, no air stone,
Just drop it in.
to the bottom.
Do you ever get salt plugs
Right here.
in here? Okay, yeah.
Harbor Freight for less than $10. I think it's more like around
What are they
$5.
called, like pipe cleaners or something?
No,
Wire brushes.
They're actually, I think they're made for airbrushes,
Airbrushes?
but they're cheap, and these will get salt clogged up on them. Just run them under the water.
Yeah, it dissolves it.
I get that all the time. So,
I every night and every morning check for a salt plug.
yeah,
Otherwise,
because it happens.
I'll lose a batch.
Yeah, and I've cut the pipe so I know it's in the bottom when it sits in that far. Because sometimes I've had it up there, and all of a sudden you don't get a good hatch.
So folks, something about this is, I know some of you have tried hatching baby brine shrimp and haven't had success.
Right.
I know if you read online, it seems like there's all these different bufferings and stuff you have to do, but Dean's got really soft water. Are
Right.
you adding any buffer or just salt?
I actually use this is Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp salt.
Okay,
which
brine
is
shrimp
basically
salt.
marine salt.
Okay, cool.
Marine
so
salt.
you're using that, you have soft water.
If you don't have brine shrimp salt, solar salt, like from
That's what I use. Yeah.
and baking soda,
Yeah.
a tiny bit of baking soda.
And I even skipped the baking soda.
You do,
Yeah, I don't even bother.
but you have harder water.
No, but when I had soft water too.
Okay.
I've never
Yeah.
used it. So if you have had some trouble, just try again. The salt concentration, it's not as precise as you
No.
think.
No.
The buffer doesn't have to be as precise as you think. Just give it another whirl. I think usually what happens is folks don't let it go long enough
Right.
and they give up. So just if it hasn't hatched, give it another day. If it hasn't hatched, give it another day. I give it like 3 days because maybe your temperature's cool.
Right.
And then the brine shrimp can take 3-4 days to hatch. So,
Yeah.
but once you've got it the first time,
Just duplicate it.
it'll change your life.
Yeah.
It is
Do it over and over.
so good. So I really think it will level you up.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to level up your fish breeding skills, it's time to get on the live food train. It's trying to try hatching some baby brine shrimp. I loved hanging out with Dean. I learned a ton. He's good people. and it was just a joy to soak up the information from him like a sponge. Hopefully you found some nuggets that will help you in your journey as a fish breeder, and be able to apply those to your fish room. If you want to learn more about aquarium fish keeping and breeding and that kind of stuff, we do a live stream every Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock Eastern time here at the Dan's Fish YouTube channel. So join us, we'll talk fish. Anyway, until next time, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.